On today's expose, Kevin, I am ecstatic to get to talk about this character. I love this character. I love that they were in this episode. There's representation, even though they were just kind of background, but I don't care. I'm talking about Pixie today. Real name is Megan Gwynn. She first appeared in New X-Men Academy X number 5 in November 2004. Anybody who knows me knows that Shawn loves faggotry and Shawn loves magic. So put that together into a character named Pixie, who is a pixie. Boom! Pixie is Welsh. She has the power of hallucinogenic pixie dust, flight via her wings. She can do interdimensional teleportation. She like open portals and go through them. Demons banishment, sleeping spells. She has a soul dagger. She's kind of like magic, but with pixie
Yeah.
wings, basically.
And just more fairy like.
And she had her, yeah. Oh, that's funny. It even says right here. She learns about her soul dagger
Oh,
from magic. I forgot about that.
ta-da.
So yeah, very intertwined with magic, which of course I also love magic. But Pixie unfortunately had a rude awakening because her father died in Wales in a coal accident, which is part of why she left and joined the X-Men. But she later finds out that Mastermind is her real father, and she has two sisters, Lady Mastermind and Mastermind 2. So she's from a family of
That's
villains.
crazy. And and she did not get the mastermind name. She's like, I avoided that trauma. Like,
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I just think she's a well-used character in the comics. She hasn't been used as much of late, but I liked, in the mid 2000s when they were using her a lot. She was fun. I liked reading
yeah.
about her. Yeah. Welcome to this week's Solving for X. My name is Shawn. I'm the ultimate
And
excavationist.
I'm something of an X fan myself, Kevin. Ooh. Yeah, we go ahead.
So, go ahead, go ahead.
We will have a special guest today, but they're coming a little bit later so that I can surprise Shawn with the guest. Um, so we will do whatever we're going to talk about, and then the guest will show up, and then we'll do the introductions of that, and do that, and then the episode. So yay! But let's do previously on or something.
Yay. Yeah, okay, okay. So I did want to clarify two things, and we'll talk about this more in our comic book episode. But for those who have listened to the first comic episode, I did make two
Oh,
errors. I did not identify two people correctly because they kind of clarified in the second comic who they are.
right.
So the person I said is Bastion is actually Hazard. I completely forgot about Hazard. When I looked him up, I have his card too. I was
Wow.
like, I can't believe I didn't recognize Hazard. And then the big guy in the back that I said might be Blockbuster was actually Harpoon. I forgot about Harpoon.
Okay.
So you'll like in this episode, there's so many X-Men characters that like it's hard for me to remember each and every one of them
There's
because
so
some of them
many.
are only in like a few comics or like
Super
a quick
minor.
era.
Yeah.
So there's so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do my best. Um, I also laughed at us after we recorded that because I had a thought and it's kind of obvious. Like I can't believe we didn't think about it. Remember how we were talking about how people think that Val Cooper may be Mystique?
Yeah. She was for a while.
When Val Cooper walks by when Val Cooper walks by Wolverine, he says her scent is familiar.
Oh.
So
Oh,
why
bitch.
would
Bitch.
right? And we were like, why would he say that? Why would it be familiar? And then it hit me like after we recorded it. Wait, is that Mystique? Is that a Mystique hint? Like, what's
Right.
going on here?
Right. Mm. Totally.
Yeah. So just a thought.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, I wanted to update you before our guest comes on about what I have experienced in the last 24 hours leading up to watching this episode
Okay.
of X-Men.
Give me the drama.
So, my best friend Rachel, who has been on this pod and all my pods, it was her 40th birthday. Yes, me and her are both turning 40 this year. We're 2 weeks apart. So she asked that we meet in Seguin, Texas to watch the eclipse on her birthday. So because of the eclipse, flights were upwards of $1,000 just to go to
Oh,
Texas. So I
of
was like,
course.
fuck that noise. And yeah. So Chris and I rented a car and we drove the 20 hours to Texas. We drove it on Saturday. And then we had a wonderful time. And then driving back last night, Tuesday, we hit all kinds of construction. It took us longer getting back. It took, I think, 22 hours. We got back at like midnight
Okay.
to his house and we left at 5 in the morning, Texas time. And I was like, oh, thank God, I just want to get home. I went to get on the freeway and the freeway was closed. So I had to like drive further to get on the freeway. And then I got home and all the guest parking was taken up. So I had to park 4 blocks away and walk at 1 in the morning. And then what was supposed to be a quick trip this morning to drop off the rental car, I got there, and out of all things, this is so fucking random. Out of all things, a van had come up off the street and ran into the budget. They hit one of the budget's car parked in the parking lot, and behind them was a budget truck. So I don't know if the van and the truck were in the accident, but they were blocking the entrance. So I couldn't even get into the budget to return my car. I'm like, I just want to watch X-Men. So like I was already like, oh, it has been a night. Like I haven't gotten any sleep. Like I just dropped the car. I just want to relax and watch X-Men.
And
And
then
this was the
you're
episode.
right.
I ended up because friend of the pod Ryan Yorio like had texted me before I took the car and he's like, "Have you watched it yet?" I was like, "No, I have to return the car. I have to this, I have to that." And he's like, "Well, check in after you watch it." And then Chris also texted me to be like, "Have you watched it?" And I was like, "No, not yet." And he's like, "Call me." So I ended up in my bed for about 30 minutes after watching just to like I was texting Ryan and I was talking to Chris on the phone at the
Oh my
same
gosh.
time, and we were all kind of being each other's like self help, like trying to like get through our emotions from this episode.
Yeah,
So
and
there you
I
go.
see. I can't stay up till 2 in the morning every day to watch X-Men when it releases. So I keep thinking, oh, it comes out at midnight. I'm like, oh, it's midnight California time. So, like, so it gets
Yeah.
really late. So I usually try to watch it in the morning before work. But if I'm lazy and sleep in, I try to watch it at lunch. So it's like I was like sitting there at the lunch, like,
Right.
like I
It
can't
was
do
not.
this.
Yeah, I was not
Yeah.
expecting it. Yeah. I know. I texted Alan right after I watched it. I was like, do not watch it at work. Wait until you get home. Do not look online. Do not look at spoilers.
Yeah.
I told Rachel, like, watch it as soon as you can. Her favorite character is, or her favorite couple
Right.
is Rogan
Right.
Gambit.
And yeah, I know 'cause
Mhm.
she hates the Magneto thing so much. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy how many like how this episode in particular took over the internet. Like even just a search
Yeah.
because of course the premiere was a lot of buzz, but I feel like this is even more because everyone has to do the reactions. Um, this is definitely a turning point.
Yeah.
Um,
And I've been seeing people clamoring to get Bo back onto X-Men now. People are saying Bo was right or Bo is
yeah,
right and or bring back Bo. So
right. And,
that's how much this
and it's
episode has
crazy that
impacted.
even now we still don't even know the reasonings behind it all, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Like,
That's what's weird. Like I want to believe he's a good guy and I want to back him, but at the same time I'm like, what if it was something like really bad that I don't support? You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
right.
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
But this goes back to the Forge. Well, I'm going to talk about for the Forge thing for a little bit too, because I feel like it's really hard to take one person's mistake or one bad move and make that their entire identity. I don't think that's fair to do. Um,
Yeah.
so, like, yeah, maybe what
Mm-mm.
you did was really bad, but there's still more to your personality, more to your character than just that one incident. So I try to like be forgiving.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that, and I usually am. It's just, and I figure if it was something illegal or bad, like Marvel wouldn't sit on it, so it's probably something like a little smaller. But
Yeah, it's tricky.
it's just hard for me without knowing the details.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I want to believe in them.
Yeah.
Um, Real quick, we have some poll
Okay.
results. Would you like to know about my poll?
I'd love to hear all about your poll. Yes.
So it's funny. I couldn't fit all this onto the Instagram poll, so I had to kind of like put words together. So the question came out: would you be mad at Forge for making anti-mutant tech? This one, I got a few write-ins, and people are very torn for exactly what you said. But it ended up with 86% saying yes and 14% saying no.
Yes. Oh, and I did write in something, didn't I? I did write something in about that.
I believe, yeah, you did. I forgot how to get to the write-ins.
It was just a message. Yeah, if
Oh,
you
is
go to
it?
the message.
Oh, that's right. It goes to your
Mm-hmm.
messages. Yeah, let me go to my messages.
Because I don't even know what I wrote anymore. But I know I said yes. I'm like, but with a but.
With a but. There you are. Yes, but, in all caps, I know when someone's heart is sincere and when it isn't. I'm not someone who will identify someone and reject them entirely because of stupid mistakes they've made, especially if they are remorseful. He was an idiot, but he wasn't making these things intending to hurt his kind. Others turned it into a weapon, and maybe he was a jerk, but I am capable of forgiveness.
Aw,
That's what
that
you
is
wrote.
what I wrote. Cute.
Yeah. And then we had Matt Cannon wrote in and said, Defo, although his tech was stolen and twisted by Dr. Adler. And I wrote back, it was. That's why we wanted to open the discussion to see how others felt. He didn't use it nefariously, and he is trying to do right by Storm, but he did still
Mm-hmm.
cause it. And he wrote, he felt bitter when he stated he felt bitter when he lost his old hand and leg after the war. Due to his bitterness clouding his mind, the government offered to restore him with a new hand and leg, bionic implants, in exchange for creating technology to target dangerous mutants. Like you say, it'll be interesting to see what the fans say.
I know Legion was just like fuck Forge,
So
but
yeah.
I
Yeah, Legion Ivory said Homeboy went against his own because he was in his feelings. Ain't no
was like,
justifying
ooh,
that.
I'm like okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, and it's interesting. I think those in a minority are more fierce about like he went against his kind. Oh, oh, hi, Gui
Okay, Gee's
Agustini.
here.
What is up? Hello,
Hello.
hello. I made it. I made it.
Our Sunspot. Yes,
Yes,
we made
I'm
it.
so
Let's do the crazy.
excited. Kevin brings on the
Yes, I'm
best
so
Yay!
excited.
guests.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's very
No, thank
kind.
you for coming on. This is great.
Yeah, of
Um,
course. I was very excited. Thanks for inviting me, and I'm so glad this is working out. We had some. We tried to do a little surprise here for the audience, but it clearly didn't go down. It's okay.
Yeah. And you were an excellent troubleshooter. You're like giving me ideas. You're like, Sean, try this, try
right.
that. Like, let's get this done. But we got it.
We should have come up with the
We did
computer a
it.
little faster, but that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I saw you at WonderCon,
mhm.
so that was
Yes,
cool.
yes, it's nice
That
meeting
was
you there.
fun.
Those, yeah, Kevin always rocking the
The
costumes,
Cyclops.
one
Yep.
hundred percent.
Yeah.
Very very cool.
Did you
And what?
did you watch the X-Men show before you were asked to be on it?
No, I wasn't asked if I had seen it, but I watched growing up.
Oh, nice. So that's like a dream
Yeah,
come
yeah,
true for you.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Not as like I've said this like not as religiously as a lot of you guys because also somebody because I did an interview and I was saying like I didn't I don't know if they came on like Saturdays like here for you guys. I have no recollection. I was very young, and so somebody from Brazil like answered my question, I guess. Like, and they were like, yeah, it was like 2 times a week,
Oh
whatever.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it was like all I would not like be waiting to see. I was so young. I would just like whatever was on, I would watch it. But definitely was one of my favorite cartoons growing up, and I was very in love with Wolverine. I have the action figure and all this stuff, and also Gambit. Also
Right?
Gambit. Those are
There
my
you go.
two
There you go.
favorites.
Yes. Shout out to Paul and Flickman from Power of X Men too. So Yeah,
Right.
great times there. Liked the episode with them. It was really fun.
Oh, thank you. Paul is amazing. Paul is amazing.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yes, great friend of the pod. Yeah.
that's awesome.
So, out of all episodes for you to be on, you're on like the most dramatic, most heartbreaking episode. Like, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's been wild. I knew obviously it was coming, and there were so I spoke with AJ, with Lenore, and they were obviously so worried. It was so like heartbreaking that was coming, and they didn't know how the reactions were going to be, and I was like, wow, but I just didn't think there was going to be this wild. And so this morning, but I also got like so much uh, positive feedback. Like I've been posting on my Instagram today because it's been like across the board, like how people are
It's insane.
responding. Right, insane. Like just saying one of the best episodes ever, like or comparing it to like the greatest like live action movie scenes, like stuff like that. It was wild. I did not expect something like that. So again, they keep doing it. They keep breaking records in a way, or just like the expectation, they keep exceeding it. It's
Hmm.
marvelous.
I was not prepared today. It took me off guard, but in all the good ways, in the heartbreaking ways. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Right, right. The way it was set up, right? It was just genius, just brilliant how it started, and then yeah. What
Yeah.
time did you guys watch it? This morning, or did you guys stay up last night?
I watched it at work on my lunch
Yeah.
break, and
Oops.
I was like, "Oh, everyone see me cry at the lunch table. Like, what's wrong?" I'm like, I think it's
Nothing,
fine.
man.
That's funny.
Um,
That's funny.
I was just telling Kevin I had a crazy night. I drove 20 hours from Texas, got home at like 1 in the morning. I went through all this drama, and I was like, I'm gonna sit down and relax with some X-Men, and then it was that episode. So I was in my
So
bed
you,
about 30 minutes
wow,
afterwards, like in a ball, like texting my friends, like, oh, it's so sad.
so sad, heartbreaking.
Yeah, but
Wow.
I mean, it's X-Men, so we know like Gambit's not gonna stay dead. Come on, let's all just throw it out there. Gambit's gonna come back.
Spoiler.
Well, I don't know. I wish I could say something, but thankfully, I actually don't know. So there you
Okay, I
go.
was hoping to trick
I,
you.
Yeah.
no, I've been saying this. It's so wonderful because I don't have to lie. I'm a very bad liar.
Nice.
So the fact that I don't know, it helps me so much.
Very nice.
What has
Yeah.
been the reaction on your side for Sunspot? What have people been saying?
Yeah, I've been very fortunate, Sean. Like a lot of great positive feedback from people here, in the U.S., but also a lot of people from Brazil. Just uh, loving the whole representation, and Marvel and the creators having included Sunspot, and having him have this lot of day, and come back in this big way. It's so meaningful. I've been super blown away by that as well. Also, yeah, people have been very, very kind for the most part. And, always like, you get everything. I start reading. I went to go read. All just because I wanted to interact with fans and everything, and then you
Sure.
start reading all kinds of stuff, which is fine. And I knew that was going to happen. I've been like for years listening to lots of different actors talking, those that choose to not see anything, those who like at the beginning they did, and then they don't. So it doesn't affect me in that way, but I'm curious to know what it is. Um, and from Brazilian, from especially people from Brazil, right? And the main one that I give it to them, and I'll say here straight up is, and I've said this, like it's been my biggest challenge when I started recording this, is it's all about the accent and the authenticity of it all, right? So when I auditioned, I did one version with a very thick Brazilian accent, and I did another version just the way I speak, which is these days much more of a neutral American um, accent, right? So when I started, I was leaning onto the Brazilian accent because I want him to feel Brazilian and authentic. But the way I do it, at least, it's just thick. So the sounds are not very um, easy for the American ear. So we started to like tone it down. The team started to like, no, do less, do less. Up to the point that through my research, I'm like, it makes sense. I don't have to have an accent. Like, he grew up with English. It makes sense. His father is
Sure.
a billionaire. I'm Brazilian, but my mom is Argentinian. My father is Peruvian. I've met through my years living in all kinds of different places people who speak different languages, grew up that way, and they have no accent in those languages. So then I was like, oh yeah, you're right. I'll just do it. Just speak the way I speak, and here and there, I put on a little something. But then the major thing was when I spoke the Brazilian words, which for the
Mm-hmm.
most part, people are very excited. That the Marvel, has chosen somebody who's natively Brazilian to represent, and it's been mostly across the board very positive that way. But then within Brazil, just like here, you have different accents. And Roberto was born in Rio, and when he discovers his powers, he is in Rio. But his father is from Sao Paulo, where I'm from, and so there's no like very uh, specific. Um, in the database, is not. It doesn't say like he grew up 100% in Rio. You could make that assumption, but to me, growing up with a father who is from and it's not that far away, right? It's somebody who's a billionaire in the business. Most likely, he's a lot of the time in Sao Paulo because Sao Paulo is considered the New York of Brazil. That's where Wall Street is, right? So that's where he spends most of his time. So maybe they lived there for a few years, and and then you have people in Rio who don't really have that thick, accent of Rio. so
Sure.
I mixed it up a little bit, but I leaned more towards my natural accent, right? Also because of this is an American version, right? So for the ear, the S is specifically uh, the Rio accent is way more pronounced. So I got a lot of like, he's from Rio. He's from Rio. So stuff like that. So that's okay. I'll take it. That's a creative choice, and they have the right, and that's totally fine. I mean, they have the right anyway. Everybody has the right to their opinion. They're entitled to it, right? But the ones that I found it very interesting and I guess funny in a way. Some have responded very respectfully, but they were like, it's almost like this doesn't sound Brazilian, or like, is this AI? I'm like,
Oh my god! Oh my god!
yeah,
Wow.
and I was like, that's okay,
Like, it's just me. It's just me.
And I said, yeah, no, it's 100% Brazilian, but that's okay. I'll take it. But for the most part, again, it's been very fortunate because people have responded very positively, and people are reaching out, and that means so much to me. Um, so yeah.
That's
Yeah.
great. So
Cool.
when you came in, Guy,
Yeah.
we were talking about something very controversial to our fans. So we want to see how you weigh in. So Forge is responsible for thinking up the gun that took away Storm's powers, even though he didn't build the gun.
Oh,
Where do you stand on
yeah.
this? Should she be
Oh
mad at
boy.
him?
To blame him? No, I wouldn't blame him because just as my perspective in life, I really don't like blaming in any way. So I think people should take responsibility for their actions. Like if it's partially responsible, I mean, yeah, I mean, look, we just saw the incredible Oppenheimer, right? In a way, which is a little bit different, but like um, people that not him, but even Einstein, who shows up in the movie and stuff like that. It's like if he didn't build, I mean, hey, he built it, right? So, but that's different. But it's just like the ones who haven't built it, by giving the idea. I don't know. I'm no one to blame, so that's where I stand.
Okay, that's
See,
fair.
he's like me.
Yeah.
Good.
And I like that you brought up
There you
Oppenheimer. That was
go.
good. All right. Should
I
we?
know you don't have a lot of time, so should we get started with this
Yeah, let's go
episode?
ahead and jump in.
Yeah.
So,
Sweet, thank you guys.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
So, this episode is Remember It. It aired today, April 10th, 2024. Story by Bo DeMaio, directed by Emi Yonemura. All right, let's get into it. Trish Tilby is live with FC News. She's reporting live about mutants. She sits down with Beast for an interview, and Beast is so blushy. I love it. We're getting hints at like Beast and Trish. Get it, mama.
Mm-hmm.
Get it, mama.
Trish tells the world about the Xavier Institute. We see her interview Jubilee and report. Oh, that's your girlfriend, Jubilee, and report
Oh my
on what goes on
God.
at the mansion. She tells us about the UN peace talks going on at Genosha that very day.
Yeah. Well, it's so interesting. Now we can actually use that word. She's my girlfriend. Well, it hasn't been said that yet. You know, I still hold on by the line in the first episode. Don't forget single. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
but I don't know. Maybe here things like evolve quite fast.
Okay, fine. She's your hookup for right now.
No, we're building up. We're building up. Okay,
Okay.
Slow and steady.
slow and steady.
They're young.
We're building the love. There's love. There's love.
Yay. Okay, good.
We had the Gambit previously on X-Men.
Yes,
time.
that's true.
You notice that? So, yeah.
Say that again.
The Gambit previously on X-Men was this episode.
Oh,
You know,
right.
When you say previously
Yeah.
on X-Men. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the WonderCon panel, everyone going down the line.
Yes.
Previously on
Oh, I wish I was there for that.
X-Men. It was so
know.
good. It was so good.
Yeah, I was terrified about that, to be very honest. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, I wonder if I will have one on an episode. I don't know if I do. I don't know.
Did you do? Was one on? Did we do last week's? No, it was Jubilee.
Yeah, it was Jubilee. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember recording that, so I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Or maybe I did. I don't know. I don't remember. It's so wild. I mean, I have a very good memory. Remember everything, but for some reason,
do it now so it's on the record if you don't have one.
Yeah, say
right here. No, I did.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I could do it maybe here. Yeah. Mas eu tenho que falar português primeiro, né? Previously on X-Men.
Yay!
It exists.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I gotta throw a little Portuguese first. No,
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah.
All right, should we go to scene 2?
Sure.
Scene 2.
Okay, on the Blackbird, Gambit, Magneto, and Rogue are on the way to Genosha. Nito reminds Remy that he can fly. They arrive at Genosha to find it greatly renovated since the whole mutant slavery incident. Statues of Magneto and Xavier now welcome all to the island. As Nito, Rogue, and Gambit fly through the statues, they marvel at the love and happiness spread about the island. Madeline and Val await the trio on the tarmac. Madeline has been asked there to represent the X-Men. We find out that Nito has been invited to the Hellfire Gala, and Gambit insisted he come too when he found out Rogue was the +1. Madeline and Val pull Magneto away for a private word.
Ooh.
The Hellfire Gala!
Yes.
I know. We had one of those at WonderCon too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
first experience. And I was talking just a couple of days ago with Michelle.
Oh yeah.
In Finch, and I was on their podcast, and then I was like, I'm gonna post, like, they have this beautiful photo that they invited me to be a part of, and I was like, I'm gonna post a photo, and I said that it's my first experience at a con, and also obviously my first Hellfire Gala, and that I was sad that it's gonna be the last one, and unfortunately, because of the rain, it wasn't what they're, and then she said, she hinted that maybe they might do another one. So,
ooh, nice.
Perhaps.
There you go.
There's hope.
There's hope.
We did have some cameos here. We had Wiz
Cameo.
Kid, who we've seen in the original series, actually. We had Pixie, who I just gushed about. And Glob Herman is the big see-through dude. We also got the Genoshan flag, and we see Magneto is right flag. So lots of attention to detail in this little scene.
There's a lot of attention to detail in this whole episode. It's
that's
wild.
true.
There's a lot of cameos. It's crazy.
And those Magneto freedom posters looked very much like the Obama poster.
Yes. True.
So,
I'm sure that was completely accidental.
mm-hmm.
My mistake.
All right, 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rogue is left to wonder what they should do now. Suddenly, Nightcrawler pops in, ooh, and fiercely embraces his stepsister. Nightcrawler offers to show Rogue and Gambit the sites where the adults talk. Nightcrawler is on the Mutant Council of Genosha. He tells them Genosha is only possible because of the X-Men struggles. Everything isn't perfect yet, though. Prices are expensive due to everything needing to be shipped to the island. $10 for an apple?
Right.
Right.
Just then, a small performance starts up with the multiple man multiplying into a row of dancers. They dance around Exodus, cameo Exodus. Dazzler also joins the performance.
I lost my shit when they showed Exodus. I love him so much. He's one of my favorite villains, so I was so excited.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Actually, and Guy, this is how crazy I am about X-Men. Oh, first off, I'm wearing this shirt today. Yay, this shirt!
Oh, nice. Oh, wow. I haven't seen that one. That's cool.
I don't think you're
Nice.
on here. I'm gonna take it back right now.
Yeah,
Go back to
no,
Hot Topic.
That's okay. No, that's the first. I think one of the first reiterations of it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have this arm is all X-Men heroes,
No
and this one is all
way.
X-Men villains.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sean, what? That's wow.
I love
Wow,
X-Men
you
so
were
much.
hiding it from. I could. Yes, we know. I know now. They say a
The real deal.
The photo speaks for 1,000 words, right? So you don't have to say anything. You just do this, and I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Boom.
Wow.
Boom, boom. Speaking of boom, boom.
Cameo. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Yeah. Oh, and actually, yeah, Exodus was one of the ones I wanted on my villain arm, but we didn't have time for him. We didn't have room. I have very small arms. I don't have the big old Gui arms.
Oh, can you add it somewhere somehow? No.
Maybe I'll put him on my other butt cheek.
Next to the Care Bear.
Next to the Care Bear. I do have a Care Bear heart on my butt cheek.
You do? Oh my god! Wow.
Anyway, scene 4.
Scene 4.
As Rogue watches the performance, oh, that's what I was going to say. Nightcrawler. So Nightcrawler's here. One thing I admitted to our listeners is, like, for some reason I have a crush on all the blue people. Nightcrawler, Iceman, Archangel. And when we were at WonderCon on Sunday, I forget her name, the therapist was talking about how she loves all the blue characters, and Kevin just turned to me and went, her too. She's got the same problem.
That's right.
Wow.
Because the Luals were at the Sunday panel.
Yeah.
And so we did that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, there's Mystique as well.
Yeah, Mystique as well.
Yeah.
Nice.
As Rogue watches the performance, Nightcrawler ports over to Gambit. He calls Gambit out for pining for Rogue. Nightcrawler tells Remy to stop being so dramatic and just marry Rogue already. I wonder if that will come into play later after Gambit comes back, right, Guy? Gambit doesn't feel marriage is right for them. I'm trying.
You're trying. Yeah, it's good. Oh, Nightcrawler, what a cupid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And we have a deep cut cameo here. We have Eva Bell, who's kind of the older looking lady with like the white in her hair. She has time powers. She was Tempest too.
Oh, wow.
And she actually got trapped in time for a while. That's why she's older. She started young, got trapped, and then came back.
Fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, Shawn is an X-Men encyclopedia. Is that what it is?
He's an X-Men expert. Yes, he's
okay.
Yes,
Stop it right here.
Good, very nice. I will reach out, Shawn. I will reach out to you. Okay, scene 5. Back at the manor, Trish continues her interview. Is it the mansion you meant?
We call it the manor. But yeah, it's a mansion.
It's a mansion. It's a mansion, but we have this running joke because we have another podcast that has a manor, so we just call it a manor to keep a running joke going. But yes,
there you go. I'm learning. I'm learning the ins. I'm learning the slangs.
Have you ever seen the movie Hocus Pocus?
Parts of it. A long time ago. I mean, I have, but it's like, I know it's such a big thing in America, but in Brazil, it wasn't just
not a big thing
for me.
There's a part in it where Sarah Jessica Parker says, "Thou shalt not speak to master in such a manner." So we always say manner. So read it again and give us a manner.
There you go. See, thanks for schooling me on that. Even if I had maybe fully watched it, it would have been in Portuguese, so I wouldn't have gotten the
Sure.
expression, you know.
Okay.
Okay, back of the manor. Trish continues her interview. Her next victim is Cyclops. Scott is asked to take off his glasses, but he reveals he can't. Trish next asks Scott about Marvel Girl, and things begin to get tense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It was funny to me though. He's like, "It's reflecting. Can you take them off?" I was like, "No." Don't ask again.
Yes.
yeah, how did you feel about your man being so like grumpy in this moment? Like he's all moody and angsty.
Well, at first he's just like your typical American dad over here. It's like, whoa, 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 whoa. But is this when the outburst happens, or
Not
not?
yet.
That's not till later. Okay. I didn't mind him here. He was just kind of funny to me. Just kind of being like, I just expected all the dad jokes any minute, you know.
Okay, fair enough.
But it gets more intense. It gets more
Yeah.
intense.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, me.
Hmm.
Okay. Meanwhile, in the middle of the lake, Jean is using her power to try to process and remember her memories. Logan joins Jean at the bottom of the lake. Jean reveals to Logan that Scott is still grieving his son and avoiding her. Scott and Jean retell memories from a date in the desert. Both of them did their best to act natural after the Phoenix incident. Jean tells Logan it took all of her control not to fly off and travel the galaxy, but it was Scott's eyes that made her stay. um, Jean kisses Logan. What gasp! But he tells her she's destined for Scott, which is very mature of Logan over here. He tells her to go talk to her man. I like this because the way that X-Men 3 ruined this moment and she killed him, here she's like, no, I'm in love with you. This is great.
Yeah. And I like that Logan finally got what he wanted, but we see like he knows she's not meant for him. Like he gave her up for
Right,
Scott. Like that really does build his character.
Yeah.
right.
It's pretty brave. Pretty brave of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I did notice one of Jean's memories was her wedding with Scott, which doesn't prove anything yet, but there were two weddings. There's the one in season 2 that Mr. Sinister broke, or Morph was the preacher,
Or
and
mm-hmm.
there's the actual wedding later in season 4
Where she was
where
kidnapped.
she was kidnapped. So
Yeah,
I'm like, well, if this
yeah.
is a memory from that wedding, then we have our proof that that was when he switched her out for Madeline.
This way.
But if the memory is from season 2, we still don't know.
You will have to wait.
Yeah.
I know, I know.
Yes.
We're picking everything apart, Guy. We're gonna get to this.
Oh, I see that. Oh, you guys are phenomenal. I mean, you guys get every little thing.
Hmm.
Thank you.
And actually, two parts of this were sent to me this morning. I'll call those out. Two little things that I missed. One of them being Bo DeMeo himself.
You missed that?
Yeah.
Wow. Him and Jake, they're
Yep.
like right next to each other. Yeah.
That was crazy. All right.
Uh,
Trish asks Scott about his and Jean's son, Nathan. Scott says he doesn't have a child with Jean. Oh, that's awkward. Trish pushes for answers. Scott is accused of being a liar. He loses his cool and tells Trish that he sacrificed everything, including his son, for humanity, and they have done nothing to return their gratitude, not even a thank you. Scott gets up and leaves the interview.
yeah, that was pretty wild, right, Kevin? I
Yeah.
mean,
I love this. I love this. It's completely justified because the Cyclops is someone who is now sick of keeping up appearances. He's tired of bottling his anger and his frustration, which he does all the time.
yeah.
And after losing his son, now it's like the breaking point. Now it's like, there's only so much someone can take. So it's a very rare, real emotional moment for Scott. And I think it's really refreshing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and it's earned, and I think shows a little
Yeah.
bit of a,
Yeah.
I mean, more of a, a different side that we haven't seen, and so we're like, oh, just like when people are like too nice all the time, and then they lose their
Right.
cool, it's like refreshing.
How much of his actions have been trying to earn Xavier's favor versus what he actually believes,
Right.
Yeah. And I like that
Yeah.
this is like, now that he's kind of a celebrity being a mutant, this is kind of the world thinking that they understand him, but they have no idea the drama that's going on behind the scenes. So I think it's justified too. I'm here for your man, Kevin.
Thank you.
Hmm.
All right, so back at Genosha, the Quiet Council convenes. The council is made up of Emma, Sebastian Shaw, Callisto, Banshee, Mora, Madeline, Nightcrawler, and now Magneto. They want to use him as their figurehead to represent mutants. Moira second guesses Emma's plan, and Emma gets upset there is a human on the council. Madeline comes to Moira's defense. Magneto doesn't want the role, but Moira brings up Charles. Madeline pushes Nito to accept. He does on one condition.
Oh, it's not in my notes. I don't. It didn't save, but I think I saw Iceman in this episode. Did you notice that?
Oh,
There
I
was
I
did,
missed that.
there was an
yeah.
ice cream vendor, and he would put his hand over the ice cream, and it would like freeze up. And he had like
Oh,
blonde
I
hair.
saw that, but I didn't register. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, I didn't remember the ice cream.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's like so clever.
yeah.
Damn.
yeah.
See, Kevin gets Cyclops. That's fine. I don't want him, but I get Iceman. He's mine.
Iceman, all the way.
Iceman all the way. Um, this Quiet Council is almost exactly the Quiet Council from the Krakoa era.
I
Hmm.
see.
Mm.
So yeah, lots of detail, lots of little details pulled from all the different eras, which is cool for the fans.
Everywhere.
Hmm.
Yeah, I should do this every week with you guys. I will learn so much about all this history and all these
Yeah,
details.
I
right.
got
Solving
you.
for X every week for sure. Yeah.
Very cool.
9.
Yep,
9, yeah.
Who is it though? Is it
it's
me?
You,
you.
you, yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cut to Magneto asking Rogue to be his queen. Oh, she's furious. She says those days are long gone. Magneto invokes the name of Xavier. Rogue reluctantly accepts Magneto's offer.
Oof, the
Hmm.
scene.
Hmm.
To be his queen.
Yeah. Okay, here goes. Back at the manor, Gene comes to check on Scott. He's angry at himself for losing his cool in the interview. Scott takes Madeline's hand and hints at wanting to be with her. She asks him to describe Nathan to her. The two kiss. What? The manor suddenly falls away and Gene confronts Madeline on the astral plane. Scott and Madeline have been meeting here for the past few weeks. Madeline says her mind drifted for a minute. Emma smiles and hints at knowing what's happening.
So good. I mean, this is funny because I'm like, she's like, get out of my husband's head.
Yeah.
And then Emma's like, oh, that'll be me later.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the comics, this is exactly what happened with Scott and Emma.
Hmm.
Madeline and Emma traded places.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
I
saw I saw I haven't read it fully, but I saw the post of the scene from the comics between Emma and
nice.
Scott. Yeah, yeah,
It's pretty great, the parallels.
I
yeah.
noticed a
Pretty much.
detail here that was really kind of amazing to me. So when Jean comes into the astral plane and catches them, her hair is down. She is now wearing Madeline's
I
hair.
noticed that.
And then Madeline on the
Hmm.
Quiet Council, who is becoming more comfortable with her life, becoming more of the good guy,
Has her
has
hair in
her
her
up.
updo.
And isn't
Hmm.
that also that it happens in the introduction too, or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, and it's kind of switched. It's like reversed because before Maddie would always have the long hair and Jean would be the ponytail. Now it's almost inverted. It's very strange.
Which I've talked about that detail to some of my friends over the weekend about how they did the hair up, hair down, and how amazing it is. And I guess it's not as amazing if you're not super into X-Men. They're just like, oh, cool. It's like, no, it's everything. Her hair is everything.
it's the, don't you know?
No, but but those details are literally for people like you, Sean, and you,
Yeah,
Kevin. Like just like yeah,
yeah.
like that. It's like yeah, just fun. It's fun.
Hmm.
All right, so here I go. Scene 11. Back at the manor, Jean is furious. Psychic rapport was hers and Scott's thing. And now Madeline is horning in on it. Jean doesn't want excuses. Scott admits to the affair beginning with the two checking in on each other. Jean gets even more angry and tells Scott he was the only thing keeping her on Earth. Scott tries to tell Jean it's complicated. Madeline is the mother of his child. Scott asks Jean if she loves him or if he's just a memory. Jean suddenly has a mental blast rip through her head. She faints. Ooh.
Yeah. So intense. So sad. I was like, ugh, because I can feel for both characters. Like I know where both of them are coming from. It's like, how do you like side with anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're here like escalating. Each scene is
Yeah, little by little.
Yep.
escalating, and this
The
is so
tension is growing.
yeah, and very interesting because with episode 4 we had this whole long, for like 80%, 85% of the episode between Jubilee and Roberto, right, and then at the end, Forge and Storm, right? That like this, and then here's like little pieces of like different, right? This like I thought it was very interesting how it's building. They're not like one continuous thing, so it's been so masterful. Like every episode has this very distinctive, solid block.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate, because as someone as a kid up until kind of adulthood, I didn't really appreciate Jean as much in the show. She was never my favorite character. So this characterization of her saying like, "Bitch, I was the Phoenix. Like I could have done anything, and I stayed on Earth for your
Yeah. And I
ass,
came to you.
and now you're with my
Yes. Yeah.
clone." Like this is amazing. This is the Jean that I wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's you, Kevin.
You, Kevin.
Okay.
Scene 12.
12. Meanwhile, Gambit is at work making himself even sexier for the gala in a full-on tux. The white tux. Yes.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Classy. That's fancy. All right. Enter Rogue. Gambit can tell she's upset. Rogue has Gambit sit down and tells him about her and Magneto. It happened before she joined the X-Men. Mystique took Rogue to Nito. We call him Nito sometimes.
Yeah.
to help Rogue control her power. Rogue and Magneto begin to fall in love, especially after they learned they could touch. Rogue realized her and Magneto weren't right for each other and left. Magneto promised to never tell the X-Men because he didn't want Rogue to lose them. Rogue tells Gambit she has agreed to join Magneto. Remy gets mad at Rogue for never letting him get close even though he wanted to. Gambit tells Rogue some things are deeper than skin. Gambit agrees to just be friends with Rogue. And the Queen of Hearts!
I noted
the
it for
card
you.
is back. I mean, I saw it way back in the episode, whatever, 2.
Yeah, it was 2 that
really highlighted.
That he drops, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Foreshadowing. Always.
Yeah.
I love it. So good.
And this line that Rogue delivers, "You light up everything you touch, but never me." I was like, oh.
Oh,
Jeez.
that is
Yeah.
deep indeed.
Right.
It was
has
like, ooh.
so many meanings. So many meanings there.
Yep. And the way Lenore just delivers in this whole episode, like I've been seeing people online just losing their shit over Lenore. She is amazing in this. So is AJ, of course. And so is everybody.
It's so good. It's so wild.
Yeah.
All right. As fireworks fill the sky, a familiar face can be seen watching from afar. Do you guys notice the Watcher?
The Watcher in the sky. Yes,
Yeah.
his little silhouettes.
Cameo.
Ooh. Cameo.
Far away, but still watching.
Yep.
Is this a what if episode? What is happening?
Well, yeah, people are going crazy because, yeah, this
You know?
connects X-Men to the greater MCU.
Yeah.
So we're getting there little by little.
Yeah.
The Hellfire Gala is in full swing. People are dancing, drinking, communing, and generally just having a good time. Madeline joins Gambit at the bar, but he's too distraught to celebrate. Val approaches Nito, Emma, and Sebastian and tells them she needs a word with them. Val takes issue with Genos's choice of Magneto as their figurehead. He tells Val he accepted only if Rogue will rule beside him. Rogue makes her marvelous appearance. Gambit leaves as marvelous. Gambit leaves as Rogue and Nito put on a dance in the air. The two kiss, and then Rogue tells Nito, "Love is deeper than just skin." Boom. There's that line again.
Love is deeper than just skin.
Yep.
So then now she's saying that she's actually going to go back to Remy. I think, right? She's like, yeah, I tried with you, and it's not really going to work here. And but she doesn't get the chance to tell Gambit.
Spoilers.
Okay,
No.
I know.
So a couple things here real quick. We get other cameos. We get Archangel Sammy the Squid Boy is the one who swims through the tank in the middle. We have Cypher, but the
Wow.
female Cypher, not the male Cypher.
Ooh, trickery.
Yeah. The song playing is Happy Nation by Ace of Base, which
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
90s
90s
moments.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I have to point out this line. This was great. This was like Emma at her greatest. We have Val come up and say, "We need to talk." And Sebastian says, "Whatever is the matter?" And Emma says, "Is it your dress?"
Yeah, the shade.
The shade. I love Emma so
Literally.
much.
Yeah.
Okay, scene 14. Yes, Jean and Madeline
Yes.
both suffer a psychic intrusion at the same time. A voice rings out in their head to stop the music. Chaos ensues. Both their noses start bleeding. Madeline goes outside for air. She sees Cable running through the crowd, demanding for someone to turn off the music, just like the Vision. Explosions go off in the distance. Cable warns Madeline he's coming. Madeline looks into Cable's eyes and recognizes he's her son. Cable's body slide suddenly activates, and Cable says, "I'm sorry, Mom," before he's ripped away. Madeline is left to wonder sorry for what before the explosions start.
Damn. So
True.
it's there.
Oh,
We know Cable's her
my
son now.
heart.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but like now we know from that vision that whirlwind had to be Cable, and also because of his timeline whirlwind. So that's a cool parallel.
Mm-hmm.
And like, just when she looked into his eyes, and she's like comforted knowing that he's alive, which is a really beautiful moment. And then it's just taken away, and then like this heartbreaking moment is about to start. The
Yeah.
tragedy is about to
The
start.
yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
And we do get a cameo from Marrow. Yay, Marrow! Good thing before all the
Yeah.
bad things.
Woo.
Before we see her die instantly. All
Oh
right.
no.
All right, 15. The gala erupts in green explosions. Many are killed instantly, just like Marrow is killed instantly. Rogue wakes up to a world full of destruction. Her and Nito see a huge tree. Oh, sorry. Huge three-headed sentinel killing everyone. There we go. It instantly kills Banshee as he carries Marrow to safety. The sentinel blasts a death shot at Rogue and Nito. Nightcrawler teleports in and saves them at the expense of himself. Ooh, he is mortally wounded but not dead. Gambit reveals there is a group of Morlocks trapped under the Sentinel at the bay. Magneto vows to save the Morlocks.
Ooh, look at
Um,
that.
and it's interesting. It's interesting that even in this mutant world, the Morlocks are still kind of like the poverty, the poor class.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true.
And here Magneto for the second time is going for going after them to save them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We did have a quick little Easter egg here because this is actually in the comics almost exactly how Nightcrawler died. He teleported to save Hope, and Bastion, who was Bastion and Nimrod at the time, put out his arm. He calculated right where Nightcrawler was going to teleport, and Nightcrawler fused with Bastion's arm. So it's not quite the same, and Nightcrawler survives, luckily. But I was like, you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing, Bo DeMayo.
It's like, do you get it? Do you get it?
Yeah.
Oh, Sean got it.
Oh, Shawn got it.
It's funny.
The Master Mold continues to attack the city. It drops even more regular Sentinels to cause even more mayhem. Magneto enters into combat with the Master Mold. He orders Rogue to clear a path for Gambit to the Morlocks. Gambit hops on a motorcycle as Rogue flies next to him. The two do their best to take out as many Sentinels as possible, Magneto continues his attack on the Master Mold Abomination, but he's losing. He is thrown into the Xavier statue. Oh, this part. Which lands on and kills so many mutants. Magneto is furious and attacks the Sentinel using a train like a whip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also have those flashes to those Auschwitz memories, which is, I mean,
Yeah,
great detail.
yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It was going a little bit over, on Twitter and X, I guess. Yeah. I mean, that's the destruction, right? It's the correlation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And turning those whips that were, may have been an oppressing kind of move. And now he's turning it back at them, which is cool. Ugh.
I love how our somberness is starting to set in as we're getting further into this episode.
And I'm like,
there's less jokes, there's less laughing.
It's getting, it's interesting. It's true, right? It's like it's
Mm.
the journey. It's the arc of this whole episode. It's so wonderful and heartbreaking. So, scene 17: the Morlocks win impatience for the chaos to end. Leech tells them the X-Men will save them all. The Morlocks are skeptical. They don't feel like the X-Men care about them. Just then, a Sentinel head locates the Morlocks and is about to kill them. Gambit jumps in and easily dispatches it, saving the Morlocks. As Gambit is leading the Morlocks to safety, Nito is blasted past the fleeing group. He lands on a car. Gambit and Rogue come to Nito's aid.
So the Morlocks we see are Leech, Mask, Tommy, Ape, Sunder, and Erg. And I think it's funny, I didn't even think about this before, but people are going ape shit over Gambit's little cutoff shirt. But Erg was wearing a cutoff shirt all the way in the original one in 1992. He was the original cutoff, and nobody had a problem
like, whatever.
Yeah, but did not have this impact, that's for sure.
And I do like that in this, Remy gets to be kind of the hero to the Morlocks. In the Mutant Massacre, he was the one who led Sabretooth and everybody to kill the Morlocks, without knowing that he was leading them for that purpose. So this is kind of
redemption
for Remy.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Yeah. I didn't know that.
That's because you're with me. I got you. I'm going to tell you everything you need to know, Gui. You're going to go back to the voice work. You're going to be like, I know all about this.
I will always reach out to you, Shawn.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes. Anytime you need to know something. Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Yep.
Me?
Yep.
Yeah.
18? Okay.
18.
Leech runs to Magneto and embraces him for protection as the Master Mold Sentinel stands over them. Magneto creates a shield to protect the Morlocks as the Sentinel unleashes an incredibly powerful blast. Rogue tries to go to Magneto, but Gambit stops her. Magneto wraps Rogue in metal to stop her from interfering. Leech looks into Magneto's eyes, and in German, Magneto tells him, "Do not be afraid." The blast intensifies and wipes out Magneto and the Morlocks. And this is so sad because he's protecting Leech, but because he's near Leech, he can't use his powers to the full effect.
Mm-hmm. And I was broken watching this the full way through the first time. The second time, as I was taking notes, I happened to pause on a scene when Leech was cuddled against Magneto, and I just lost it all over again. It's just so heartbreaking to see Leech believe in this man so much, and Magneto wants to protect him so much, and he would give anything to protect his kind. And he basically tells Leech, it's okay, we're gonna die. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah, so interesting that they chose him. They had him say it in German.
Yeah. And apparently I saw a post from a German-speaking person there, and it was good German. It wasn't half-assed bad German. It was legit German. Yeah.
Kudos to Matthew. He's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Rogue, now furious, flies at the Sentinel to kill it. Gambit watches helplessly as the Sentinel prepares its attack. He quickly takes action and jumps on a bike, igniting it with his power. He lets it fly into Rogue, knocking her out of the way of the deadly blast meant to kill her. The Sentinel turns its attention to a rooftop full of mutants, including Bo and Nightcrawler. It's about to blast them when Gambit flies into action, but the Sentinel stabs him in the side with a tentacle. With his life fading, Gambit ignites the Sentinel with his power. The name's Gambit, mon ami. Remember it. The Sentinel explodes.
Got it memorized.
Got it memorized.
Yeah. Well, that is the theme of the whole episode, and that is the thing that everybody was so. I mean, with our team, we were talking last week, like how this moment would like create a riot. But again, like I said, it's been wild, but it's also been so beautifully positive from what I've read and how people have been sharing.
Yeah.
And I've been saying like all day today is just mirroring life, right? Because it's like no, we all love Gambit so much, but like the unexpected and all this details, with the tragedy, with like the Holocaust, just things like that, or like art reflects and mirrors life, right? So I found that to be very beautiful and powerful.
Well, and even on a larger scale, like this reminds me of, people go to a club to dance and party, and that's what's going on this island. And when you think to like the Florida shootings or any of these attacks we've had on queer spaces, it very much mirrors that same somber mode.
That too, yeah.
And let me tell you, this is why I never trust Genosha, because yet again, it's used as a tactic to just round up mutants.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know.
Hmm.
It's like this might have been Gyric's plan all along. This is what he was talking to in that interview. He was talking about this whole thing. He had this planned.
Probably.
I don't know. Anyway.
Scene 20. Back at the manor. Beast, Morph, Wolverine, Jean, Jubilee, Cyclops, and Sunspot watch the destruction on TV. Yeah, we are we were destroyed, yes. Scott demands to know how many were lost. Trish covers the event in sadness.
See, you are in this episode. Yay!
In my very upset face, yes. And I saw it for the first time because that was never shown to me because I have no lines, so I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you as broken as the rest of us?
Yeah, it was very touching. It was very touching. I mean, this whole sequence, right? That like from what we just saw to this, yeah, and now the actual real knife cutting.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, final scene. The few surviving mutants watch as Rogue holds Gambit in her arms, crying, and she's like, she attacks real quick when she fought back, but now she's like, yeah, I'm gonna touch you, I'm gonna, hold you, and then she says, "Sugar, I can't feel you." Broken.
Yep. And somebody pointed out this is what Wanda says to Vision in WandaVision when she finds his lifeless body. She says, "I can't feel you," as she's holding him in a very similar way.
Oh, wow. Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
I had meant to go kind of try to verify that, but the day got away from me.
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome. Well, this is cool. This is the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So now we got to rank it and stuff.
Yeah. Do you have time to rank it real quick before you have to go?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So now you guys, okay, tell me, how do you guys do it?
So we have a scale. Is it Britishly bitchin' like Emma? Is it pretty cool like Iceman? Is it Australian Wolverine? You kind of love it, but you kind of hate it. Is it fat and sweaty like Jubilee, or is it unspeakable like X-Men Origins Deadpool?
My God!
We only call Jubilee. We only call her fat and sweaty because in season 1 of X-Men, Gambit calls her that so many times. They're constantly just like, "Girl, you put on weight. Girl, you sweaty."
And wait, hold on, and then insulting her sweater and stuff, and her clothes, and
skinny. What is the deal?
She's a kid.
My God.
Yeah.
Wow, this is so hard. You guys are so clever with the amount of adjectives here.
Stop it.
Yeah, really. I'm trying to translate like from my own words, my perspective and which one would fit better here. I love they obviously used Iceman. Pretty cool like Iceman. No, that's a little bit, I don't know. There's a lot of, there's a mixture. There's a big mixture. I think it's phenomenal. It's really genius. But I will go Ah, okay, I don't know. It doesn't really fully represent. I don't know. I think Australian Wolverine, but I don't. I would say I kind of love. You love it, but you hate it. You know.
That's a good
Yeah,
point.
because I mean it's all good, but you don't you do hate the heartbreak in a lot of ways. But
That's what I'm saying. That it happened. That they
yeah,
chose to do that. That you have
but
to go through it.
mhm. But me, I love to feel. I love when things make me cry and hurt because it proves to me that I do feel and that I'm human. So that's always reason to make rank it higher for me when I don't like when I'm like hurt, distraught.
Yeah.
Fair, fair.
Yeah, the fact that it made me feel such highs and such lows. I'm gonna say Britishly bitchin' like Emma. Plus, I mean, Gambit
Seriously,
comes
bitching.
back, right, Key? Right? Like Gambit comes back anyway.
No, I actually don't know.
I'm just
So
kidding. Well, we know you have to go. We
Yeah.
appreciate you taking time to be on the show with us. Where can people find you?
thank you guys so much. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm sorry if it's a little rushed here at the end, but I thank you guys so much. I had a lot of fun. I didn't expect this to be this way, and it was awesome. Like I said, I mean, I meant it to be. You know, I wish I could be here every week, and but I'll tune in so I can learn all these little
Okay.
details. You
Yay!
Right.
know, it'd be really cool.
Absolutely.
I'm mostly on Instagram at Gui Gui Agustini Agu. It's not Augustini, it's Agustini. One,
Agostini.
yeah, um, and the number one. On X as well, but I don't really use X as much. I've been going, to get the what people are saying.
The scoop.
Yeah. Like I actually posted today. I found that I screenshotted a lot of comments on X, and then I posted on my Instagram. It's just nice to get what people are saying, and also it's cool when like you get LeBron James saying, "Hey, where can I watch the next episode?" You guys see that?
Dang!
You're like,
That's super cool. That's really
yeah,
neat.
it
Yeah.
was like from the beginning, so stuff like
It's
that.
a
But
movement. This is for
Yeah.
sure a big deal for lots of people.
I have a friend who is in New York, and he's at the Yankee Stadium right now watching the game, and he sends me a photo, and he's like, "Can you see what they're promoting right now?" And then with the stands, you see the little line; it's all X Men. It's kind of wild.
Wow, that's crazy.
Um,
Fantastic.
yeah. So anyway, hit me up over there. I am very active on Instagram. I do my best to reply, and to be active. So
Yeah.
yeah. But thank you guys so
And
much.
thank
It
you
was a
so
pleasure.
much. Yeah,
Cool.
So much
Thank
fun.
you.
definitely.
All right, till we see each other again
All right.
next time.
Till I see you again.
Yes.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See ya.
Bye bye.
Bye. Woo!
Yay. I did it. I did something
You
good.
did something, and while we were waiting for you, I just stopped and I told him, "You're such an, you're such a handsome man." He went, "Oh,
Attractive.
thank you."
Yeah.
Cool. So we just got a couple more things to wrap up. Who would you say is
Yeah.
the most excellent player?
I put Gambit for this one.
Yeah.
Because here he's the most tragic. He's having to come to terms with his breakup. He doesn't know how Rogue is really feeling right now. He's fighting his ass off. All of the movements, all his fighting, like amazing. He's giving his heart all into it. He's maintaining his sass all the way through, which is nice, and then making that sacrifice. Remy is like the king player in this whole episode. I mean, Magneto is up there too, but it's Gambit. It's Gambit's episode.
Yeah, the way Bo wrote this Magneto, Rogue, Gambit love triangle, and the way, like, I get emotional just talking about it. The way Magneto and Gambit both are willing to sacrifice themselves to not only save everybody else,
Mm-hmm.
but for Rogue. Like, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And yeah, I gave it to Gambit above Nito because Gambit is the one who took out this Master Mold Sentinel. Like, without him,
Mm-hmm.
there would be no wins
Yeah.
for the day. So that was amazing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
What would you say is the X factor?
The X factor is this tragedy itself. I remember reading something that Bo wrote, and he said that this was supposed to be our 9/11 moment. All the ones before this were supposed to give you that sense of nostalgia and more of that comfort, whereas this is supposed to really hit you. And this is a painful reminder that even though there is more acceptance in the world, there are still people who hate, and places in this world where it is unsafe to, be different. Um, I'm getting so emotional over it, but um, there will always be people that fight progress and fight peace and hurt those they don't agree with. Even when things are changing, even when progress is made, there's still going to be those naysayers, and it's really hard to have to come to that reality. So that's my X factor. But I have another part with just the title itself. The title of Remember It. Um, for one, it's Gambit's last line, but it's also a callback to the line he said in the season 2 finale of the original series. That he said it back then, way back then too. Um, so and then it's a metaphor for what many characters in the show are doing, having to do with memories. Cyclops is haunted by the memories of his son and the life that he had with both Jean and Madeline, and where he stands there. Jean is struggling to filter out which memories are hers. Rogue is remembering the history with Magneto and all that stuff. So all these characters are in with this Remember It theme. So yeah, it's interesting. And how will this day be remembered in history books? Would this be a day of mourning? Would it be a day of retaliation? What would it, it was interesting what they'll call it. But
Yeah,
I don't know. Talking too much.
you're good. No, that was excellent. Thank you. My X factor is this moment. We'll talk about it more in a second, but this is exactly from, I mean, parts of it in a way are exactly from the comics with the Sentinel destroying Genosha. This is why in episode 2, I think, or 3, when I found out the mutants were all coming together to live on Genosha, I gave the hint like, uh-oh, I know where this may be going, because this happened where the Sentinel basically wiped out the mutants on Genosha.
Yeah.
But what Bo has done in kind of pairing that with the Quiet Council, kind of making a very Krakoa type of thing, but also with putting our characters on the island when it happened, that didn't happen in the comics. So making it something that we're familiar with, but making it even more personal by it killing Magneto and Madeline and Gambit, and us having to watch it happen, like, fuck. That made it
Yeah.
just so personal and so much more tragic than it was in the comics. So I feel like my X factor is Bo knows the comics so well and knows how to tug at us and just make us feel so hard along with these characters. Like I can't believe this episode. Like this is masterful. That's why
Yeah.
people love it.
Yeah. I mean, this entire series is one love letter to. I mean, it's not just X-Men fans. It's just good writing in general. If you want to watch a story, this is the story that will connect you, will get you in it. So yeah, we're halfway through, and it's wild.
So yeah. So this primarily adapts E is for Extinction. That's where that was the Grant Morrison new X-Men run. The biggest difference is it was Cassandra Nova who unleashed the Sentinel on Genosha. And
Ugh.
obviously, it's not Cassandra in the show because Cable said he's coming, not she's coming.
Hmm.
So this is where I'm
Right.
still on track thinking this is Bastion's doing. I actually have a crazy theory. I messaged Ryan this morning and I was like, "Have you read The Fall of the Mutants?" And he just wrote back, "OMG." Because I think it's very purposeful now. I get it. I get what Bo's doing. I had this realization. The fact that life death is in two parts and the fact that this happens in the middle, they don't feel connected yet, but they're very much connected.
Mm,
Um, I think the reason that we see Cable, here's my theory. I think Bastion went back in time and he helped develop better tech. And I think Cable went back to stop him, and Bastion's made it so that Cable's tech is working against him. That's why he wasn't able to stay and help Madeline. He got pulled away because his
yeah.
time slip
Yeah.
activated. So I think this is Bo's way of telling us that this isn't a simple time travel story. We can't just go back in time and fix this one because Cable's taken out. So I think either another character's gonna have to figure out the time travel, or I think in the original Life Death, which is part of the Fall of the Mutants, I won't spoil too much, but there's something called the Siege Perilous that is a huge player in that story.
Oh, yes, I know that name.
Yeah. Siege Perilous
Okay.
is actually what causes Bastion to come into existence. It fuses Master Mold and a Nimrod Sentinel, and it's also the key in something else that happens. So I think we are going to get some more answers next week. I think we're going to find out a lot about Forge and what his past may have done to cause some of what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like really excited to see where this goes. This is crazy. Whew,
Yeah.
I need to calm down.
Ooh.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
So here's your question. I'm proud of this question. Which part of the episode broke you the most? Rogue breaking up with Gambit, Magneto telling Leech, "Do not be afraid." I called it Gambit's final showdown because I don't want to post like Gambit's death, but I mean, if you know, you know.
Right.
Or Rogue saying, "Sugar, I can't feel you."
Oh, I mean, it's between the Magneto thing and the Rogue thing. I think I'm gonna give it to the Rogue one. But the Magneto one's also very good. But I think I'm giving it to the Rogue one because Rogue is somebody who, a lot of her life she can't give to anybody else. She can't really fully give herself to anybody. She can't connect wholeheartedly, even though she wants to. She yearns for that, but there has to be a certain solitary person inside her, a certain, living for herself because she has to be independent by necessity. So this moment when going her whole life not being able to touch Gambit, being loving him and not being able to touch him, and this moment where she finally can, and there's nothing. Yeah, breaking my heart.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. That one, I mean, Leech really does give his all this episode. It really does like tug in watching that. But yeah, just something about Lenore's delivery and the way she can finally touch Gambit and he's dead. Like it gets me. It's heartbreaking. This is a cartoon.
Why are we filming this on video?
This is a cartoon. I can't believe it's like having this effect on so many people. Hi, Kevin.
Hi. We're making video episodes now. Yay.
Yeah. Well, we got through it. We did it. Yay.
We did it.
Where can the people find you?
Where KJEZ, I feel like I can't say it. KJEEZY87 is my Instagram. Or you can follow my other podcast, Words of the Witches, where we're just going on ahead with that musical. It's lots of fun stuff.
And you can find me on Sean Perrette on Instagram. I'm gonna start posting a video actually on Instagram and on my TikTok. I forgot what it's called for a second. So I can only do like 10 minutes of the video. So you'll see kind of highlights from the episode. So if you just kind of want to see like highlights or see how we feel about the episode, you can check those out. And if you want to hear our full thoughts on the full thing, of course, listen to us here on our podcast, Solving for X, which you can follow on Instagram, solvingforx.xmen.tas.
And we got to make a YouTube. We gotta work on that.
We gotta work on the YouTube. We're going big. We're going Kevin's penis.
Yeah.
We're going huge.
Absolutely. Great metaphor.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us for the very attractive Gui. And we will and make sure to check out yesterday's comic book episode. Comic book 2 is out, and that just dropped yesterday.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.